Just another stupid anime porn game. It's not like this has any connections to ancient Greece or anything. Oh yeah, you guys asked for it, and here it is. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Thinkers, the only show on the web where we really think about games. And whoo boy, today on Game Thinkers, grab your spears and togas because we're gonna get greasy. As we talk about ancient Greece? Whoa, hold on, don't click off the video just yet, because trust me when I say that this game has a lot going on. And no, I'm not just talking about the big-breasted anime babes, you pervs. I've noticed some startling connections between the 12 girls in HuniePop and the 12 gods of ancient Greece. Don't believe me? Let's get into the numbers. First things first, what is HuniePop? HuniePop is a game. Now that we're all up to speed on HuniePop lore, let's do a deep dive into ancient Greece to find out the hidden connections behind these girls. Ancient Greece, or as it's more commonly known as Greece, is an ancient civilization that died out years ago. Or so you've been led to believe. But the stories of the gods they worship are still alive. Case in point, HuniePop. But Droneable, I hear you cry. This game has nothing to do with ancient Greece. Although I appreciate your enthusiasm, I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, dear viewer. Second off, who were these gods? Well, in ye olden times, before all these newfangled smartphones and Facebooks, the Greek gods were believed to live on Mount Olympus, where they would lounge around, representing different aspects of existence. Whoa, and I thought being a security guard at a haunted pizzeria was tough. But how does this relate to HuniePop? Well, think about it. What are the HuniePop girls commonly seen doing? Lounging around, representing different personality types for the suave main character to, fuck. However, these 12 different personality types aren't just there for show. Or are they? No, in actuality, each girl corresponds to a different Greek deity. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but the connections are undeniable. For instance, take the most popular girl in the game, Audrey. What are Audrey's defining characteristics? Drinking, partying, drugs, and a chaotic personality that constantly clashes with others. A pretty unique girl in the cast, but get this, Audrey perfectly corresponds with Dionysus, the god of wine, parties, ecstasy, chaos, and madness. A little too similar to be just a coincidence, don't you think? Or how about a less obvious connection? Take for instance Jessie and Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of hunting, wilderness, animals, and little girls. Can you figure out the connection? Jessie is a cougar, always on the hunt for a supple young man with a wild personality, clothing that represents different animals such as the leopard and bunny, and a little girl of her own named Tiffany. I let her hunt me down and slurp me up like a big spaghetti noodle. Speaking of Tiffany, we've already dissected her character in a previous Game Thinkers episode, so I won't be repeating myself here. But long story short, she represents Hades, god of the underworld and the dead. I'll leave a little link down in the description below, or you can check the secret card in the top right. Moving away from the dead and on to the living, we've got Hera, goddess of marriage, women, childbirth, and hairs. Now think to yourself, which girl dreams of being married, is a woman, and has a young child? That's right, Kiana. Her young son Philip is heir to her fortune of Aztec gold. For crying out loud, she's a hairdresser. Of course she's related to Hera. Now for this next one, I'm gonna let you guys guess. Which Greek god do you think corresponds to Aiko? Pause the video now and leave a comment down below who you think it is. I promise you, I care. This is not a ploy to get more YouTube engagement algorithm points. So really, please do it now. Don't worry, take your time. That's right, Athena, goddess of wisdom, peace, and handicraft. Wisdom is pretty obvious. I mean, she's a university professor. Last time I checked, those guys are supposed to be pretty smart. Aiko has a very peaceful life, and Aiko fingers herself regularly. A pretty cool handicraft, don't you think? On the topic of squirting, let's talk about the wettest member of the HuniePop cast, Kiyu Sugardust. I couldn't think of a better girl to symbolize Poseidon, god of the ocean, and horses. Kiyu's a pretty wet girl. I mean, come on, she's even on a washing machine in one of her photos. And as for horses, well, she does love whores, and whores sounds very similar to horse. A little too similar, don't you think? On the topic of whores, Belly is a character known for being the most spiritually connected to all the girls. Belly is the tallest and heaviest of the HuniePop cast. Woo, wouldn't want her sitting on my face. That's a genuine cough. Ow, that hurts. But I'll save that for another episode of Game Thinkers. Seriously though, Belly being all about growth and nourishment correlates perfectly with Demeter, the god of both growth and nourishment. Belly is even taller than a meter. Demeter, a meter, it's all coming together, but I'm not done yet. I hope you can catch up because we're moving on to the fastest god, Hermes. I hope I'm not giving you a hermia with all this information. Moving on. Hermes is the god of boundaries, travel, communication, trade, language, and writing. Let's play a little game. Comment down below who you think this god matches up with. If you guessed Celeste, you're correct. Celeste comes from outer space of all places, a pretty far out boundary and a long distance to travel if you ask me. Knowing multiple languages and trading bodily fluids with humans, Celeste is a Lovecraftian letter to Hermes. Not to mention, Celeste is one of the only girls in HuniePop to always be on the right side of the screen. But why is this important, you ask? Well, Hermes is the god of writing. Despite not being the god of war, I bet Hermes would still enjoy today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a game where you can become a god of your own in this epic mobile RPG. With over 1 billion copy-pasted characters as shallow as the cum stains on my blanket and more predatory monetization than a pedophile loan shark, you too can be over one of 10 million room temperature IQ retards to download this game because someone on the internet told you to. Use the code on screen to get a free 100 gold with the purchase of a $10 champion booster pack. You know, I'd expect some of these gods to look a bit more scary. Grape headband? Woof. A woman? Please! Oh god, he's so terrifying! Ares, the god of war, bloodshed, violence, and courage. Being the most unpopular god in all of Olympus, Ares and Momo go together like barbecue sauce on a bagel. Momo is one of the most violent girls in HuniePop and is extremely unpopular among the community for having the mentality of a literal child. I mean, you literally have to sacrifice an entire bag of fish to summon her. Huh, talk about fishy. Maybe you're not convinced yet, but maybe you didn't realize that courage is an anagram for cougar, a type of cat. Meow. Someone call the SPCA because this is one mean kitty. Ares' fellow abomination against humanity, Hephaestus, spiritually correlates to Lola Rembrandt. Hephaestus is a god of blacksmithing. Wink wink nudge nudge. Fire? Coffee, anyone? And craft. Having crafted her own outfit, and in the later games, her own fashion line. Much like how Hephaestus clashes with Apollo, so does Lola clash with Nikki. Nikki is a shy girl, most known for her talents in the arts, a clear fit for Apollo, god of the same affiliation. Nikki is also known to be a raging autist, not too far from an artist. Whoa, I haven't seen this much autism since I looked in the mirror this morning. Apollo is also named after the first spaceship that humanity landed on the moon. Not really relevant to the theory, just a fun fact. Hey, like the video if you like Apollo, and remember to subscribe and hit that bell button for Apollo. Now for our last girl, there's Venus. It was actually really hard to find a match for Venus, being the theory's weakest point. But I mean, hey, process of elimination means Venus has to correspond to Aphrodite. I'm not really sure why, but there has to be something I'm missing. I'm sure many of my longtime junior Game Thinker fans will be able to figure this one out in due time. And that's it! All of the Olympian gods corresponding to all of the HuniePop girls. A pretty foolproof theory if I do say so myself. Wait a minute, I'm forgetting someone. Someone very important, integral to everything I've been talking about so far. A character so important and so obvious, he's been right under our noses the whole time, lurking in the shadows until he reveals himself as the one who's behind everything. The one, the only, one who you never hear speak, you never even see what he looks like, but today, I'm gonna reveal that person who is about to be unmasked. And that person is someone you wouldn't expect. Did you figure out who it is yet? I don't blame you, because they are a very mysterious person that goes by the name of you, the main character of HuniePop. However, who can the main character correspond to? There's nobody left, right? Well, when I said there was 12 gods of Olympus, I may have lied a little, because there are in fact 13, with the remaining god being the strongest one of them all, Zeus, the god of all gods, and the one who aims to have sexual intercourse as much as possible. The final piece of the puzzle, my dear thinkers. And there you have it! I've successfully proven that HuniePop is more than just a simple cartoon Candy Crush clone. A game that draws parallels to ancient Greek history? Wow, that is a smart game. I bet all of you looked down on this game. No, this work of art before watching this video. And all I have to say is that you're welcome. I know some basement-dwelling trolls out there might try as hard as they can to find holes in my hole-proof theory, but hey, I'm just a thinker. A game thinker. Thanks for watching. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Thinkers, the only show on the web where Jesus Christ, the only show on the web where we really. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Thinkers, the only show on the web where